Hello again, everybody. I'm Matthew White, and welcome to another edition of FYI, right here from the Real Estate Channel studios in downtown Vancouver. I'm pleased to have as my guest today in the studio, Stephen Jagger from the following companies: Ubertor, Reached, and OutsourcingThingsDone.com. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Man, I check your Facebook, Twitter. You're all over the place these days. What's going on?
Yeah, a little bit. These days, it seems the speaking side of my business is sort of kicked into overdrive. Been traveling around all over the place, speaking at conferences and to the entrepreneurs organization, a whole bunch of different groups, basically about social media, how it works with the sales professional, and just sort of enlightening them, I guess, on how it can be used within their businesses.
Now, for one that doesn't get a lot of a chance to travel, with the schedule being the way it is, tell us about some of the locales you've just hit.
Last 60 days, I've been in Hong Kong, New Orleans, Toronto.
Wow.
Calgary, I'm trying to think of where else, Seattle, Squamish.
So you're spending a lot of time on the road.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it seems to be ramping up in the last little while. It's going, and I've got Omaha coming up now, Omaha, Nebraska. Should be interesting. Never been there.
Now, you're involved with these 3 different companies. Let's take a second and talk about each one and what specifically they do.
Sure. Ubertor is a real estate website platform that basically allows residential realtors to build and maintain their own websites. Reached is a training business that was formed to train business owners on how to use the web to market their businesses. So it's in-person and online, but mostly in-person training. And we run that in Calgary, Toronto, and Wichita. And the newest business called Outsourcing Things Done, where we have recently set up an office and an operation in Manila, where we're helping business owners use offshore workers. So basically using and leasing staff from us.
So chronologically speaking, did these businesses are they born out of each one type of thing?
Sort of, yeah. Ubertor have been around 9 years. We've always found ourselves trying to educate real estate agents on how to use the web and understand the web to grow their business online. We saw the value in setting up a business and starting to charge for the information we were giving. And it soon sort of pulled out of real estate, and now we train all types of businesses. And the outsourcing business is we've been doing it for Ubertor for about 3 years, where we run our customer service out of Manila and Dominican. Right. But they're people that are on our payroll, work for us directly, but they just happen to be overseas. And we had lots of business owners wanting to have us help them find their own workers overseas. And we never, we always said, no, it's not what we do. We just do it for ourselves. We're comfortable doing it with ourselves. And a little thing called the recession hit. And people still asked us, so my business partner and I sort of figured maybe it is actually a pretty good idea, and the timing might be right, where businesses are struggling and trying to figure out ways to cut costs. So we ended up setting up this new business.
Now, when you're on these speaking engagements, and for someone that may be watching this that wants to actually book you, what specifically are we talking about? Does it vary from one, take to take?
Most of the time, it's like the stuff that I've been doing a lot with the entrepreneurs organization. So I've done a whole bunch of their chapters and their big global conferences. That's all to do with how we run our businesses. So how all 3 of our businesses operate and the tools we use. So it's sort of it's not like, a sales pitch or anything. It's just, here's my business, here's how we do it, here's the tools we use to operate virtually, here's some of the tools we use to manage our people through the internet. And it's not meant to be pushing businesses to go virtual, just maybe there's one nugget in there or one tool that we use that they can put into their business to help them cut costs or be more efficient or more effective within their businesses. So that's by far the majority of the talks. And then I guess the second to that would be social media, Twitter training, and how to use these tools to sell or to grow your business.
So traditionally, someone would call your office, I guess, and book you. You would check to see if you're available to do it, and off you go.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So what is
we don't have an office, though, so you can't really call the office.
Right, the virtual office. Right?
Yeah.
Now, of course, most people watching this are probably most familiar with you with Ubertor. And what's new at Ubertor these days?
Lots of stuff is happening. We're doing a big push these days into video. As you guys are in video, video is a big, I think, a very important part of the internet. And we've been pushing agents to start creating their own video, but as well as doing their listings and just sort of using video as a tool to grow their business, to showcase their listings, to showcase who they are and what they do. So we've been working hard to make our system syndicate with lots of different video players, as well as we've built in our own player now into the system where agents can load and host their own video through the Ubertor product.
Now, with the three companies you have and with the market the way it was a little while ago, did you see an actual reflection in your business, or was it just basically steady throughout?
We haven't really slowed much in what we do. I found from in the software, the website business for realtors, I find as it slowed down, they started focusing more on the internet, which was good for Ubertor. And because they're focusing more on the internet, they wanted to understand more about social media or online video, which in turn is great for our training company.
Right.
And then the outsourcing thing is just sort of getting going, but it's a great time to be helping businesses get into that. So the timing couldn't be better for all three of them.
Now, what is actually with these three companies? I mean, is there anything new coming up? Are you planning to have 6 by the end of 2010? Are you expanding rapidly?
No, the plan is to continue developing the Ubertor product within Ubertor. The training we're expanding to more cities. So that's where sort of the reached business is going, and outsourcing is just, we're just getting it rolling. So between the three of us, it keeps three businesses keeps my business partner and I busy enough.
Well, I noticed you mentioned a couple of sort of more familiar locales, and then you said Wichita. So you've got an office in Wichita, Kansas now.
We do. Our trainer from Vancouver moved. He's from Wichita, so he's moved back, and instead of him decided to do something else, we've set up shop in Wichita so he can start training down there and continue doing what he did for us in Vancouver in Wichita.
Live from Wichita.
Yeah, well, it's done in person there. So the business owners show up to a boardroom that we've rented, and they get trained for 3 hours on, in that case, it was blogging. I think next week is social media.
Now, for those that are watching this and want to find out more about you, maybe even book you for an appointment, for a speaking engagement, or just to find out more about the three companies you're running, how can they do that, Stephen?
The easiest way is go to each website, but if you go to StephenJagger.com, it's got information about me as well as all three of the companies and what they're up to. And it's Stephen with it's with a PH.
I just keep up with you on Facebook. So.
Facebook, Twitter, yeah, Twitter's easiest. Facebook, both of them work quite well.
Stephen Jagger, thanks very much for coming on FYI today. Best of luck in the future, man.
Thanks for having me.
All right.